Extreme G2 is a racing game released for the N64 in 1998. Developed by Probe Entertainment and published by Acclaim, Extreme G2 is one of many futuristic racers released for the 5th generation of consoles. This time players ride high-speed motorcycles with a design and aesthetic somewhere between Tron and Akira. The game was a sequel to the original Extreme G and is fondly remembered by many fans, myself included. But the question is it worth revisiting? I sat down with Extreme G2 and here's my take. Let me start by giving the game its props. This game is a beautiful game for its time and it oozes style. The bikes are cool, the setting is cool, the music is cool. With its cyberpunk grunge future dystopian setting and the drum and bass soundtrack, this game oozes 1998. Everything from the techno announcer voice to the countdown and hovering spacecraft, the aesthetic is tied together well. Even the cover of this game looks great. And when a 10-year-old me wandered into the video hut in 1998, there it was like disco lemonade. It was a must rent. It doesn't look like much now, but visually this was a standout N64 game in its time. Unfortunately, that's where my praise of this game ends. I don't think that this is a terrible game like many people do, but I also don't consider it a great game. First, Extreme G2 subscribes to an old school race mentality. You need to memorize the tracks to get good and enjoy this game. But inconsistent controls and track design get in the way of what could be a great game. It's not a problem to require track memorization for a great racing game, but it needs to be followed by really tight controls, which Extreme G2 does not have. Obviously, this game is going to be compared to some of the most popular futuristic racing games of the time. Wipeout, F-Zero X, and Episode 1 Racer come to mind. The interesting part about those three games is that they all involve hovercraft, whereas in Extreme G2 you're mostly stuck to the ground. With a floatier craft like in Episode 1 Racer, you have a very large and expansive track, where you usually have time to maneuver. In F-Zero, tracks are tighter, but so are the controls. In this game, you crash and get spun around, or you're at max speed and you don't make a jump, or you go into a tunnel and get totally disoriented. When you do hit some boosts and break the sound barrier, it can be a ton of fun, but my experience was pretty mixed. Speaking of disorienting, the weapon system in this game is chaotic. I actually realized for the first time while capturing footage that you can turn the weapon system off, which is great, although it was cool and most likely a selling feature in 1998. The weapons seem to detract from the racing. At its core, there's some fun to be had with Extreme G2. You just have to be prepared for some clunky features. But with a plethora of better racers on the N64, this game is only for the fans like me with some nostalgia for an old game rental. If you're interested, you can pick up the PC version on Steam for cheap. I would also recommend Extreme G3 over 2, but then you're getting into all the excellent racers on the GameCube, and that's a whole new story. So while I can't say Extreme G2 is worth revisiting, I will say I wish some developers would take another crack at it. I'm always up for another futuristic racer. But those are my thoughts, and I'd love to hear yours in the comments below. Thanks for checking out my video, and if you enjoyed this, let me know what other games I should revisit, and thanks for watching. Blessings.